so keep that in mind.
Yeah, hey, forget I asked.
That'll definitely do.
Ew. Join the Discord.
It was the least fun I've ever had playing this game.
A small but vibrant and extremely humble community.
No, I've seen the sleeves, but I'm like, you said you're suiting up, and then you put your sleeve on. Thank you for saying that.
Because I'm a demon on the keys.
Next thing I know, we're both dead. I immediately left the lobby.
In Vietnam.
What are they playing for? Are they playing to win?
Stay humble.
Stay humble.
We are live! Welcome to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty broadcast. Episode number 100 plus 90, and then also add 7 for a total of 197. My name's Casey, also known as Razinon. I am
almost
joined...
200.
Almost 200, yeah. I'm joined by Tanner, who can, in fact, count, it turns out. Tanner, how you doing, little buddy? How's COVID treating you? Are you on the mend still?
Yeah, we're getting better. We're getting there.
We're getting there?
Maybe 80%. Maybe 69%, actually. Nice. I don't know. Yeah, we're probably somewhere around like 75, 80 now.
That's good.
There. Still just feel like tired.
You sound less sick than Thursday.
You think?
Yeah, definitely.
Got it. Yeah, I'm just like tired now still.
Yeah.
They say that can last for weeks though, so that's not great.
Yeah. Well, don't get sick. I don't know.
Got it. Leave your house maybe once, and then maybe you probably would get sick as well.
Pass.
Got it.
Pass.
You get sick and you don't even leave your house. That's what's crazy. Remember that one time you got really sick?
Dude, that is
You
still...
almost died?
That is the weirdest... I have no idea what that was. I have no idea. I want to think it's COVID, like the original variant, but the symptoms weren't COVID-like. But the severity was COVID-like. I had a fever dream for I don't know how long, because time was just an illusion at that point. But I was in my bed.
Fake.
I was in my bed for literally 3 days straight. Didn't eat shit. Didn't even check my phone. Tanner was like, what the fuck happened to this guy? Because I always am like active. And like Tanner and I will just message each other bullshit. And I'll reply within like an hour or two. But he was like, dude, I knew you were sick. Because I messaged you and you didn't even open it for like 2 days.
Yeah.
I was too sick to look at my phone. I forgot I had one. I was in my bed, sweating profusely. Couldn't drink water because I'd just throw it up. So just massively dehydrated. And I had a fever dream for what felt like 6 hours. Who knows how long, actually. But it felt like about 6 hours. Where I thought I was a woman named Tina. That's all I remember. But it was very weird. I'm not kidding. I literally thought I was a woman named Tina. I don't know why. It was fucking strange, dude. And I was like, dude, it was so weird. Anyways, whatever. Welcome
You're
to the
a pussy.
show. Got it. But
Yeah.
But since I now work from home, I haven't gotten sick since.
We don't call it work. You don't work. You game from home.
I'm in the studio being a broadcasting media sensation. Right. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, we start with this trash. And then also we do announcements. So if you want to skip the announcements, you can go to the timestamps. There are timestamps in the video description if you're on YouTube or in the show notes if you're on a podcast app. So feel free to skip this dog shit if you want to get into the meat and also the potatoes of this episode. That's true for all episodes, of course. I timestamp because I'm a fucking Chad. I'm a champion of the people, and I do it for your convenience. Now, today, Tanner and I are going to be doing a first impressions of the mid-season update with respect to both Vanguard and Warzone. Warzone, of course. But before we get into that, we would have announcements. Now, we don't, really, but we do have some reminders. Unless Tanner has an announcement. I don't know. I can't think of any. So, first announcement. Weird. First announcement. Don't forget, in 1 week, the 22nd, Warzone Roundtable at a time. Do we know what time it is yet? Is it 12 or 1?
I don't know.
We still don't know, so...
Yeah, we were supposed to figure that out from Thursday, weren't we? We didn't.
We have it written down somewhere, but...
I don't know if we do. I don't think we ever decided.
Well, when we in the group chat, we set a time. Here, you know what? Actually, I can just look at my DM to Leia. Let me just figure this out. Okay. Super interesting roundtable, by the way. Or excuse me, Patreon hangout we had last night. Drexler graced us with his presence, the Silver Fox himself. And he used to work. He used to work at fucking Lockheed Martin for 15 years. And I was like, dude, that is super interesting. It was very cool to talk to him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, dude. That's fucking cool, right?
What did he do there?
He was a senior something or other. He worked on the software side.
Oh.
So he would write the algorithms to optimize how many children are killed per predator drone strike.
Oh, nice, dude.
That is what his job title was.
Yeah.
He was the senior child destroyer at Lockheed and Martin. Yeah, no. I'm just kidding, obviously. But he was a like software dude or something. It was fucking cool to talk. And by the way, Drexler, I'm joking, obviously. I found it very interesting. He sent me some DMs. I need to look at those. But let me get the time here. God, too many of you DM me. 12 p.m. Okay, so January 22nd, 12 p.m. Pacific time at the dropshot.com/live. We are doing the coveted, lauded, respected, award-winning episode type, which is the Warzone Roundtable. I believe we've done 2 or 3 of them before.
Done 3 or 4.
Got it. And we're doing that again, and it's going to be the first one we've done since Caldera came out. We have some returning faces, some new faces. It's going to be extremely fun. I would venture to guess it will be our best roundtable episode ever yet. And
because Jake's not on it.
Correct, because we've boxed Jake out. So you should be there live. It's going to be a lot of fucking fun. A lot of fun. And we're very excited for that. So once again, January 22nd, 12 p.m. Pacific time, thedropshot.com/live. Be there. And then the next week, the 29th, at a time, which is undecided as of now, probably about 5 p.m., 6 p.m. Pacific time, we're going to be doing our 2-year anniversary episode, in which we have a lot of announcements that community members like you, listener, are going to deeply enjoy. A lot of it's going to pertain to people who are not in Discord, who aren't active, who don't give feedback, cringe people who are just listeners. A lot of the announcements are going to be relevant to you. Things that we're going to add that a mere listener is really going to appreciate or change. And then there are also a lot of announcements that we have for those of you who are balls deep on the dropshot.com/live, who post in Discord every day, who come to Patreon hangouts. We have announcements on our 2-year anniversary episode that are going to be very exciting for you as well. Really, everyone's going to be excited about it. The announcements benefit everyone, and everyone's going to get just amped about it and real fucking excited about it. Okay. So be there live as well. And also, if you're there live, we have special goodies planned for people who are there live. And if you're not there live, you'll miss out on those goodies. So you really want to be at the dropshot.com/live on January 29th at a time Pacific time.
Everyone gets a goodie bag.
Everyone gets an e-goodie bag. Sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. So that more than the roundtable, you really need to plan on being there live. Yeah. We had a maximum, I think, of like 150 live viewers for our 1-year anniversary. Now that it's 2 years, that number needs to be doubled. So here's an announcement that we haven't made yet. On January 29th, for episode 201, our 2-year anniversary celebration episode, we won't start the episode until there are 300 viewers minimum at thedropshot.com/live. And until that point, we hold the program hostage and we don't do the episode. So it might be 4 hours of pre-show and then we give up and the podcast is done and we delete the RSS feed. That's possible. If you want an episode to happen, we need minimum 300 of you to be at the dropshot.com/live on January 29th at a time, Pacific time. Figure it out. Simple. It's a Saturday. Ask your shift lead to switch your shift with someone else. Work Sunday. I don't care. Get the fucking day off. It's that simple. And then be there live.
Wow.
That's simple, right, Tanner?
Yeah, I guess so. I was just going to say, one thing is, since there's going to be so many people there in one small confined space together, make sure you guys all have your vaccines. We will be checking vaccine records.
We need proof of vaccination.
Yes. So send us your proof of vaccination on Discord, and then you'll be allowed in the stream. We're just trying to be safe here. Get that evac.
That is correct. This is not going to be a super spreader event. We are going to indeed require proof of vaccination, yes.
Yeah.
And if you have a religious exemption, make sure that's submitted at least 2 weeks prior to the episode. That time frame has passed, by the way. So figure it the fuck out. But other than that, just a couple of reminders. The next 2 Saturdays are going to be really fun, and they're going to be especially good to be live for as a listener/viewer.
Yeah.
And some of the Warzone Roundtable guests are going to need moral support. So if you're a friend of Mullet or Leia, well, Mullet, does he have friends? Or some of the other people, then you might want to be there live to support them, because they will be shivering in their little boots.
Oh,
so
God, Leia's
figure
gonna
it
be
the
so
fuck out.
fucking nervous. She's going to be shaking.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Guys.
So other than that, Tanner, do you have any...
I'm going to be belching in your fucking ear. Just
Come on,
belching,
man.
What?
Got it.
No, I don't have any others.
All right, if you listen to the jingle, here it is.
Oh, shit. We're getting there. Okay, hold on. I got to find the button here. There we go. Mitch, thanks for the gifted sub to Gamer Citizen 1. Change it. And Cam Wilkes, who will be on the round table next week, reigning from the UK with the 5 gifted subs. Cam, let's fucking go, buddy. Thank you very much, Cam. Thank you very much, Mitch. Appreciate both of you gentlemen. Any belchers? We got to bring back the word belch. What are your thoughts? Should we bring it back?
Belch.
It's a good word.
It's a very vulgar, it's a very crass word, belch.
Let me belch in your ear, dude.
It's a gross word.
Is it?
Welcome to the show. Today we are not talking about bodily functions. Go ask your mom about the birds and the bees or something, because that's not our job. Instead, what we're talking about today is the mid-season update. So we had our first ever mid-season update for Vanguard since Vanguard came out, and also since Caldera came out. So we have split this episode into 4 categories. We're going to start with Vanguard, and we're going to talk about just our impressions in no particular order. They will be good, bad, and otherwise, and we haven't broken it up further than that, because we have less to say about Vanguard. Well, we have more to say about Vanguard.
Yeah, so we actually have more to say about Vanguard, I think.
We'll get into it. But then we're also gonna move to our first impressions of the mid-season update related to Warzone, and that we've broken into 3 categories: neutral, cons, and pros. So within each category, no particular order. If you've been listening for a while, you'll kind of figure that out. So without further ado, let's dive right the fuck in. So we're going to start with Vanguard once again.
Vanguard.
And just some impressions we have since having played after the mid-season update. And Tanner and I have played quite a bit of Vanguard multiplayer since the mid-season update. Tanner, you were just balls deep last night, weren't you?
Yeah, I was
getting that
playing
thing
for a few hours last night. Yeah, I was getting that thing unlocked. So yeah, first thing here right off the bat is a little tip. This is my idea. No one gave this to me. So to unlock the well gun in Vanguard, you have to get 10 ADS kills with an SMG in 15 completed matches. Completed. You can't leave like you could in MW. You have to complete the matches. So I think it was JGod tweeted this out. I'm not positive. He had said the fastest way to do this was free-for-all. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea, actually, because free-for-all matches usually don't last as long because it's first to 30 kills. Yeah. And also, the way they do free for all now is with combat pacing. You can have like one match it'll be 6 people, and the next it'll be like 12, but they still go up to 30. So like that, the one where it's 12 players in there, that goes by pretty damn quick. So I did this, and I was able to unlock the well gun in just about 2 hours, a little bit under 2 hours, not much, pretty much 2 hours on the dot though, and I was able to get that thing unlocked. So I just played free for all. I think people want to play, DOS House Shipment because I think it's going to be faster. But if you get like DOS House Dom, that's lasting like 10 minutes or so, and that's going to last longer than any free for all match. So I think playing free for all is the move. Free for all is pretty fun too, actually, because you see things and you shoot at them. You don't have to think about anything else.
Drink water, clear your throat.
No.
Cough. Do something.
I
man.
won't be.
You're driving me insane. But anyways,
your voice drives
continue.
me insane every word you say. So yeah.
Okay. Well, fair.
Yeah. So I think that is the move, is to play free for all. So that's what I did. So if you're trying to unlock it, do that. You could also just buy the bundle and then do the same shit. So you're leveling it up as you go, but you won't be able to change the attachments on it. So 2 hours, and that's how I unlocked the Wellgun and Vanguard.
Yep. Yeah. I did it with Ship House. I don't know how many hours it took me. Probably longer than 2, though. It was still fairly fast, but free for all is a great idea. That's undoubtedly going to be faster. Because first to 30 kills is fucking. I imagine every match is over in less than 4 minutes.
You'd be surprised. Some of them end up lasting like 6.5, 7 minutes.
Oh, really?
But there are some.
It's not only Shipment and DOS House.
I only got, out of the 15 matches I played, never got Shipment, and DOS House I got, I think, twice. So.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's fair.
Those ones were only lasting like 3.5, 4 minutes.
Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense. So we talked about the well gun a little bit last episode. Well, I did, because I had played with it by then and Tanner hadn't. But we had been saying, the well gun in Vanguard is absurd. I mean, it's just so fucking good. And I stand by that opinion. My opinion on that has not changed. Tanner has now unlocked the well gun. He's used the well gun in Vanguard multiplayer. Tanner, was I correct? Is the well gun a good weapon in Vanguard multiplayer?
It is a pretty good weapon. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is up there with the best no attachment gun. As like, what's the AR that's really good with no attachments? I think it's the Volk. It was the Volk. Yeah. The Volk fucks with no attachments. This gives me SMG vibes of the Volk because it has like that similar fire rate, and they both have like, I think a default mag is like 30 on both of them, and with that fire rate and the damage output, that 30 round mag will basically kill 15 people. So it is. You were not right. It is nutty. Everything about the gun felt really good. Movement speed, great. ADS speed, great. Obviously, it's a Vanguard SMG. The fire rate in multiplayer is perfect. Can't say the same for Warzone, but in multiplayer, it is such a good fire rate because it's the perfect spot for being easy to control and not miss shots. So it's not too slow. It's not like the bar where you're just going to lose gunfights sometimes because the fire rate's so bad. And you're not just blowing through ammo and wasting bullets, missing shots. It's like it is the perfect fire rate, so every single shot you fire pretty much hits the person. And it leads to like a fast time to kill. So I swear this thing was like two-shotting people in the upper chest. It was nuts. I think the first time I played with it, after I unlocked it, literally the first match, right off the rip, it was on DOS House. I went on like a 14 kill streak, just not camping, moving the whole time. Rushed straight into their spawn, just started shooting all of them. I got seriously like 10 kills with one 30-round magazine. It was fucking nuts. So this gun is crazy. It was really fun to use. I'm very excited to level this up more. It's like level 10 right now or something, and it's still like the best SMG in the game. And it's like, it feels like an AR actually, like a really fast moving assault rifle. Like that's the damage that it puts out in the fire rate.
It's fucking ridiculous. It's obviously insanely overpowered and needs to be nerfed a lot. Like it's way too good. It might be the most overpowered gun that's been in Vanguard, including combat shotgun. Actually, like I genuinely think so. It's so unfair. It's so fucking stupid. And this is a tip Tanner has given to you guys many times, and I will echo it now. Level it now while it's super easy and overpowered. And if you want to get gold or atomic, get this SMG as one of the gold ones, because it's going to be easy as shit. And do it soon before they nerf it, because they will. Or they certainly should. They will. They'll nerf it, for sure. I don't know what's so overpowered about it. Well, yes, I do. It's the damage. I don't know if you need to nerf the damage itself, the base damage values, or if it's the multipliers that are ridiculous. But it shouldn't be two-shotting people pretty much ever. I mean, that's insane. And it does it a lot. Like, it
has no recoil.
Busted. It has no recoil, dude. You have to like try to get recoil on it with attachments. Like you'd have to optimize for bad recoil to get even some. And it's still going to be better than a PPSH that's optimized for recoil control. Like it's a ridiculous, stupid gun. It's super fun though, because it's insanely overpowered. But yeah, it's fun. It's fun to use. What is this next point here, Tanner Dropshot?
Okay, another random point here. With Season 1, we got Radar and Paradise. We had talked about those early on. Paradise was, whatever. Radar is,
have you played it
whatever.
Lately?
Paradise?
Yeah.
Not lately, no.
Okay.
But last night I played Radar a few times on Free For All. I really, really love this map. This is actually probably one of my favorite maps in Vanguard now. Didn't play it a whole lot when Season 1 came out, and I was just like, oh, it's okay, but this is a really, really fun map on this game. I think Free For All partly was what made it so fun, like the layout of it, because the spawns and lanes could get kind of weird, I feel like, if you're playing like Dom or something, but in this it played really well. I was a huge fan of Radar, found little like areas that I didn't really notice before that they existed, little routes and stuff, so that was a really fun map to play. Another just solid map to add to the Vanguard rotation, so I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, I played Radar not recently, but when it came out, I played it probably 5 times, and it was fine. I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing about Call of Duty, I think, in general, that a lot of people maybe miss, is that you can't exactly, for some maps you can say it's just a bad map no matter what, and then some maps you can say it's a good map no matter what. So for example, firing range on any mode is a good map. And then
it was really fun in Cold War when they added that in.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
to,
and slums too. Yeah. Oh wait, did they actually add slums? I think they did.
Yeah, they did add slums.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Anyway, I think they
did. We just like never played it because I didn't play
Yeah.
Cold War because it was a
Cold
terrible
War.
video
Yeah, because
game.
Cold War, because Vanguard came out 2 days later.
Yeah, didn't it? It was like the last map to be released. They're so
Yeah, it was-
fuck you, Treyarch. You're a
fuck
shit
Treyarch.
dev.
Fuck Treyarch and fuck Activision. But yeah, like Firing Range is always a good map, and Piccadilly's always a bad map, no matter what. There's no game mode that Piccadilly's fun on. You could maybe argue Search and Destroy if you're a Search player, but there are okay, Grozno Raid. Well, some people like that on Search too. You guys are fucking idiots. There are maps that are just bad on every possible game mode, but there are a lot of maps that depend on the mode. So for example, Black Ops 4 Icebreaker. That map was dog shit on Team Deathmatch. Fucking terrible, awful shit map if you're playing Team Deathmatch, because the spawns were a fucking disaster, and you would always get shot in the back and just be running from spawn to spawn. But Icebreaker Domination, excellent map. Night and day difference. It's like a different map.
Yeah.
Depending on the game mode. And I suspect, and a lot of maps are like that, and I suspect Radar is probably one of those too. I didn't play Radar free-for-all, so I thought it was fine. It was a middling map. But I was playing not free-for-all. I was playing team modes. I think the playlist was like Hardpoint Dom, or patrol, dom, TDM, whatever. And it was fine. But like, this could be a map. I could see this being a map that's like really, its best playlist might be free for all. Yeah. I could see that being true.
Yeah.
For sure. So,
Yeah.
so that's just something to keep in
It played
mind about
perfect for that.
multiplayer maps. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Free for all's
Yeah,
a fun game mode. It's not something you think of playing, but free for all is really fun, actually.
I can see it for sure.
Because I don't need to depend on. Hey, it'd be great for you because you can't bitch at every single person on
For
your
body
team
blocking me.
5 times for body blocking you. Yeah,
Correct.
Still the
Yeah.
only person in my life I've ever played Call of Duty with that complains about people body blocking them.
Because people are nice to you and they're polite, and I'm not polite. And if you,
I'm not
fuck me
talking
up, I'll
about
tell
with
you
me.
about
I'm
it.
talking about ever in general. I've never heard anyone complain about body blocking in Call of
don't
Duty
listen.
other than you, and you complain
Use your
every
ears.
single game. Maybe it's
Use
you.
your
You ever
ears.
thought about that? You
Nope.
ever thought about that?
Nope.
Shit can.
I haven't been body blocked in quite a while, actually. It's funny you bring that up.
Got it.
It only happened. L didn't even body block me. He jumped in front of me, so my bullet on some guy who was one shot didn't register since it hit L in the back, and then I got downed.
Got
Because
it.
the fucking guy bullet
Good, you
pens L and
deserved
then
it.
downs me. Fuck L. He's just a little kill-stealing rat. Although I'm proud of him for actually being next to me. That was a new, fun, and exciting experience in Warzone. So I don't know. Would I rather L be next to me and make me die, or die himself 400 meters away? Good question. It's a toss-up. But either way, I didn't get fooled, so I'm fine with it. He's been forgiven.
Got it.
Anyways, all of that is to say, I can see Radar being a good, solid free-for-all map. I imagine DOS House is probably that way too, by the way. DOS House is an unambiguously terrible, dog shit team game map. It's too choked. The corridors are too small.
Yeah.
There are too many sight lines. And if one team is winning, they will control all 3 lanes extremely easily, and you have no chance. But in free-for-all, I could see DOS House actually being pretty fucking fun. What were your thoughts on free-for-all DOS House?
Yeah, I thought it was great, actually. That was very fun to play. I was actually thinking about that as I was playing. I'm like, dude, I swear the spawns are better in free-for-all DOS House than they are in teams, even though there's constantly people spawning like to the side of you and stuff. It's like spawning somewhere where they're not out in the open. It's like spawning them in one of the little numerous corridors and rooms. So as soon as they spawn in, they're not getting shot at because they're not getting looked at right away. But you can't just spawn rape like you can in Dom or something like that,
Yeah.
where they'll just keep spawning in the same spot and you just keep shooting. That doesn't happen at all. So it played really
Right.
well. And I think it was, I don't remember what pacing it was, but I think it was like 10s or something, and it was playing pretty well, actually.
Yeah, I could see that being true too. And then speaking of spawns, one of the patch notes was that they've improved spawn logic on like smaller maps. I don't know exactly what they said, but I think it was something like that. They definitely improved spawns in some capacity. And you know, we've read that before. Sometimes it's true, many times it's not. In this case, I think it is true. I have played a lot since this patch. I played a lot of Shipment Dom, where the spawn raping was the worst. Spawn trapping was the worst. Doesn't really happen anymore. It doesn't happen at all anymore, actually.
Yeah.
You used to be able to literally keep people constantly spawning on C and just mag dumping them, and you can't anymore.
I miss those.
I know,
lobbies.
it's sad.
You leveled up
F's
your
in the
guns
chat.
fast.
Oh yeah, it was a fucking blast. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they really did fix the spawn logic a lot, I think, in general. I think the spawns on DOS House in team modes are actually worse than they are in Shipment now. Because the spawns on DOS House in a team mode after this mid-season update they're generally okay, but there are times where I spawn right next to like 4 enemies.
Yeah.
And that doesn't happen on Shipment, which is surprising, but yeah. But in general, I think the spawns have improved. Yeah. What is your experience?
Yeah, I haven't played Dome yet. I played Dome once, but it was free for all again, so there wasn't the spawn issues. But I'm excited to play that map again because the map itself is good. It's just been so bad in Vanguard because the spawns were terrible. Dome spawns were worse than DOS house spawns and shipment spawns. They were fucking
Yeah, they were the
awful.
worst I've ever played in any Call
They
of
were
Duty game. I'm
awful.
not kidding.
Like
Yeah.
it would, for some reason, spawn you like out in the open in the middle of the map where
The
there's
dead
already
center.
a guy watching that sight line because your team's spawning on the other side, so he's holding
Yep.
that sight line, and as he's ADS'd, you just spawn in his reticle and then he shoots you. So Dome was terrible. They supposedly made that better with the update. I'm excited to try that, but spawns definitely seemed better when I was playing. Even when I was playing like DOS House, I think it was Dom that I was playing. Yeah. Spawns seemed a lot better than they used to be. So that helps because as Raz was saying, the flow of the map is kind of fucking trash. So that played a lot better, felt good. That was a very needed change for sure.
Yeah.
That's
for
been a
sure.
pretty terrible thing with Vanguard since the game launched with spawns. We expected spawns to be trash. Didn't expect them to take this long to fix them though. Like we
Yep,
said that numerous
exactly.
times. We're like, guys, it's day one. The spawns are going to be trash. They'll get them fixed in a couple weeks. They didn't. It took 2.5 months, but they're getting better.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. Yeah. Next thing, incendiary grenades got nerfed. They do less damage. So they also changed Dauntless, which we're going to get into. So I haven't taken any fire damage since this mid-season update because you can bet your bottom dollar that was the first thing I did. But I'm glad incendiaries do less damage than they used to. That's good. I'm kind of confused why they did this, but they didn't make thermites do less damage.
Okay, which are the ones that they added in later?
Incendiary.
I thought thermites were added later.
No. Thermites were in on launch. Incendiary got added recently with season 1. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. Well, I thought it was the other way. Well, the newer ones that they added in are still so fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
They're so loud. Have you noticed that? They're so
I
loud
usually-
when you throw them. It's like it's so annoying, dude. It's so
Yeah.
annoying.
Interesting. I usually play with my sound really low because I listen to podcasts and multiplayer. So I haven't really
listening to
noticed.
podcast. That's crazy.
Cringe, I know.
Yeah, so incendiaries noticeably do less damage, but they're still just so annoying. And I think they said that in these patch notes, or maybe before the patch notes came out, they had said, we know that we still need to make more changes to fire. This is just like the first pass. Here's what we're doing. Here's what we want to do. So I think they're going to get better, but it's like incendiaries, thermites are still so frustrating to deal with because they're too loud. They're too bright. You can't see through them. The map is just filled with them. You can't play DOS House you can't play DOS House Dom and go to B without being on fire. That's pretty much
Actually.
how it works.
Yeah, actually.
The spam is just miserable. So
And one
even
of
though they
the-
kind of nerf these, they're very annoying.
Yeah, agreed. And one of the really dog shit things about the fire in this game, which they added with season 1, and I don't know why, is they added like the year 2002 Twisted Metal flame decal graphics to the peripherals of your screen if you
They're
get
so annoying.
on fire. And it's like, it's ugly. Like, it's bad, terrible looking graphics that don't look like you're on fire at all, first of all. It's very weird. And also, it's incredibly obstructive and distracting. Like, if you catch on fire, there's just like little flame decals on the edges of your screen that are just distracting and weird and annoying. Even if you stop taking damage, which is even worse. So, like, you get hit with an incendiary, you get the flame decals on the edge of your screen, you run away and stim, you're full health now. 10 minutes goes by, that fire doesn't go away ever until you die. It's like, what are we doing, man? It's a terrible looking graphic, don't have it in the game at all.
It's
but
the
if you're
worst
going
looking
to,
graphic.
it needs to fucking disappear once it stops doing damage to you. It just stays forever. I don't know why they added it. And further, I don't know why they haven't at least changed how it functions or removed it by now. So I hope that's one of the things they're looking to do. They've said they're looking to do something more with fire. They haven't been specific about what that means. And I'm hoping that that is one of the things that they intend to do. Because it's terrible by every metric.
I
It doesn't
can't
look
believe
good.
it. No.
It's distracting. It doesn't go away ever. It's ridiculous. It's so weird. It looks so out of place.
So I think that's the best way to put it. Is it looks so out of place. I'm not kidding. It looks older than like a flame graphic you would see in like Call of Duty 2 or Call of Duty 4. Like
Yes,
even
actually.
in one of those games, you'd be like, holy shit, this is like an old, outdated graphic. What the hell is this? And yet it's 2022, and we have this hideous looking Wolfenstein from 1995
Yeah.
graphic. It
Yeah.
looks terrible. Sledgehammer, take it out. They at least fixed the issue where early on, when that graphic came up on your screen, it would hit your frame rate by actually like 70. I'm not exaggerating. I would go from over 200 frames to like 120, 130 while the flame was on your screen. Crazy. Fucking nuts.
I didn't notice that, but I bet it does. Yeah.
It was really, really bad. So they at least fixed that now. But it's so out of place, looks terrible. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next. Mortar Barrage is dog shit now. It lasts like way less long than it used to. It does less damage. I think it even like shakes your screen less, although I'm not sure about that.
Could be because it's dropping less mortars, so technically it would. Even if it's
Yeah, that makes
not
sense.
lasting as long, it's also dropping less now.
Yeah. So, that's great because that was ruining games, especially on Ship House. Because on a map that small, you can't avoid the screen shake. Your screen's shaking for the entire match, actually, if one person's running Mortar Barrage. So that's not true anymore. It's pretty bad now. It can still kill you. I've died to it like twice. But that's because like people stopped running it because it's kind of terrible now, and I'm in favor of it because fuck that streak. So that's cool. That's been nice. They did say they like fixed it because it was like buggy. Like you had to take it out and stand still for like a full second before it would let you throw it. Now you can throw it as soon as you take it out, but once you do throw it, at least for me, I still have to press weapon swap to get back to my gun.
Yeah, it's
It's
still,
like I'll
bugged.
throw it and then I'm still holding it, and then it like glitches and bugs out once I press weapon swap, and then I have my gun out again after like a full second.
Yeah.
So it's still fucking weird, but at least you can throw it right away now. So it's better than it used to be, but it's still not bug free. It's not a bug free streak, but don't use it anyway. That's my advice on that.
Yeah, that's the best thing about when they slightly nerf streaks like this, and they go from overpowered to just being like pretty good still, is that makes far less people use them. So it's just a less annoying experience overall because the whole enemy team isn't using Mortar Barrage like they were 2 weeks ago.
That's true too.
Because Mortar Barrage pretty much single-handedly ruined DOS House and Shipment. It made it miserable. You could not go to mid at all. Really bad experience. So that's good that those are nerfed. And yeah, I noticed it was a lot easier to throw the thing. I used Mortar Barrage probably 5 times yesterday, and I never had an issue throwing it. So I don't know if they also fixed the thing where you couldn't throw it under certain areas because it said you were in cover on DOS House. Because every time I threw it on DOS House, it let me put it down, but maybe I was just in the areas because I've been used to being in certain areas to be able to deploy it. Maybe I was just already there. I don't know, but that seemed like it was altered as well. So, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's a good change.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a good change. I think it should let you throw it even if you're in cover, and if you're dumb enough to put it under a roof, then you just wasted your streak. Get shit on.
I think honestly, because they knew it was like a good streak, that they didn't want you just sitting in cover and being able to throw it at your feet and basically killing things outside of you. Maybe that's why they did it. So they wanted you to be able to get out in the open in order to use the streak.
To be
more risky. I mean, I'm sure they didn't think that way. It probably just ended up being that way, but
yeah, I don't know. What is this next little pointerino? Tannerino?
So I didn't try
Cappuccino?
Fortified and Dauntless too much. Fortified now gives you like 30% damage reduction from fire, yeah. And then Dauntless is supposed to not give you any when you're sprinting. So Dauntless I didn't use much. Fortified I used a little bit more. And on DOS House, I was still just constantly dying to like fire and grenades and shit. I feel like Fortified actually does nothing against grenades. Like it seems to just not work. explosives still just kill me no matter what, and it doesn't have any effect. And when you're running Dauntless and stuff and you run through all the fire, you still get the Wolfenstein 1995 graphic on your screen, which is the most annoying thing. Even though supposedly it's not doing damage, why is the fire on my screen? What's the point of that? So Dauntless, yeah, again, didn't use a whole lot, but I didn't notice massive changes to Fortified. I still felt like when I would have died to the fire, I still died. And that didn't change it.
Yeah. Yeah, so I have not tried Fortified yet, but I have tried... the first thing I did was switch to Dauntless, because it makes you immune to fire, according to the perk, sort of. So, first of all, if Dauntless does make you immune to fire, that's a fucking dumb perk. You shouldn't be able to be immune to fire. That's ridiculous. That's never been in a Call of Duty game. Why? You shouldn't be able to be immune. That's so stupid. So why would I ever run any fire-based anything anymore?
Good. Get people from running them.
Yeah.
Sure. It's like one of those things that it is the laziest way they could have nerfed something, and they just thought, oh, fire's been dominating our game for the last 2 months. What do we do? Because we haven't done anything about it. And some guy's like, oh, let's just make it so this shitty perk lets you take 0 damage from any of it. And everyone's like, holy shit, why didn't I think of that? And that's what they did. It is the laziest, not thought out fix to all the fire issues they could have done.
Yeah, it needs to be... I think what they should instead do is like... I don't know if this is codable, but if it is, I think this would be a good way to make this a balanced perk. Dauntless makes you immune to fire in the environment. So if someone throws a molly and direct impacts you, you're going to die. But if they throw a molly at the ground and then you run through it, you don't take damage. I think that would be a smart, good way to change Dauntless and not make using anything fire-based completely stupid now. Because it is dumb. So
you can get stuck if you're sprinting with Dauntless and it still does 0 damage to you, theoretically, right?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. There are a lot of questions I have. I have a lot of questions. So I was using Dauntless, and it does make you immune to fire that's on the ground. So they would throw mollies at my feet on B on DOS House. I would run right through it. I would get the Wolfenstein flame decals on the sides of my screen, but I wouldn't take damage. Don't give me the graphic if I'm not taking damage, but also I wouldn't take damage. So it did make me immune to fire in those situations, and that was very nice. It was very cool to do, because that's a huge impediment to playing DOS House, like especially Dom. You just can't go B if you're on that map without Dauntless, because there's always fire on the ground. So having immunity to it is really nice. Still a fucking dumb perk, though. You shouldn't be able to be immune to fire, I don't think. So that's one thing. But again, it's like, well, I'm not going to run Molotovs anymore. I'm not going to run Thermites anymore. I'm not going to run Flame Knot anymore, which is like a high kill streak. It's just Incendiary Grenades, not going to run those anymore either. Because if the guy is fucking immune to fire and I waste my time throwing a lethal, well, I just got myself killed. Why don't I just use a Gammon Bomb instead, where even if they have Fortified, at least they're taking some damage. I'm never completely wasting my time if I use an explosion rather than some fire-based effect. Let alone incendiary ammo too. There's now no reason to run that, because I'm not going to run incendiary ammo and run the risk of it literally not doing shit to somebody. I'll run something else. So pretty dumb, lazy, as Tanner said, perk change. But also I don't exactly understand how it works. So I got a Flame Knot, and I was playing DOS House Domination, and I was in their spawn. I got a Flame Knot. We were pissing all over this team. So I'm in there. I'm balls deep in their spawn. I'm watching all of them just materialize, and I'm holding that thing down. And like, I'm killing one guy, and then there's another guy, flames engulfing him, not even getting hit markers, doing no damage to him. He kills me. And I was like, okay, cool. So that guy does have Dauntless because he literally took 0 damage from my Flame Knot. So then I was like, okay, well, I guess Dauntless will make me immune to Flame Knot. Good to know. Fast forward 2 matches later, some asshole has Flame Knot on the other team. I'm running Dauntless. And I'm like, oh, cool. This guy literally can't hurt me. So I'm just going to stand in front of him and mag dump him till he dies. Wrong. I start taking damage from him and I die. So I don't understand how the fuck this works. What am I not understanding? I don't know if it's just buggy, if I'm misunderstanding something, if someone killed me that wasn't the Flame Knot and I just didn't understand it and the kill cam was the Flame Knot, even though he didn't kill me with flames, but that was the kill cam I got. I don't know what the fuck happened, but it's unclear how it works. I don't know if it makes you immune to Flame Knot or not, because both of those things happened to me on the same day. So within an hour, actually. It was very confusing. I'm still confused. So I don't get how it works. And then also, like Tanner said, how does Dauntless work? So if you have Dauntless and I stick you with a thermite, do you just not take any damage? How does that work? Because it is fire. So if it makes you immune to fire, you just would get stuck and not take literally any damage.
Yeah.
That which would be fucking ridiculous. Or you would take damage and then the perk doesn't work like it says it does. So what are we doing? And
yeah, either way doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Either way, it's bad. So I don't know how the fuck it works. Again, like Tanner said, this is the best way to possibly put this. This is just a lazy change. It's just lazy. Like, oh, let's just fuck it. Just give you fire immunity. Who cares if it doesn't make sense?
Yeah, and then what's going to happen once they nerf incendiaries and thermites more like they said they're going to? Does that just mean Dauntless is going to be the most useless perk in the game because they're going to make incendiaries so shitty anyways and thermites so shitty anyways that no one's going to run them, and then therefore also Dauntless is going to be just a waste of a perk that they designed when they were lazy and couldn't think of a better change to do? You know, it's just it doesn't make any sense any way you look at it. It's like they know it's going to take longer to fix thermites and incendiaries, so they just made this perk change without using a brain cell. So I don't know. I don't understand this change. If they want to cut back on the spam, I mean, the flame needs to be, obviously, 1, not do as much damage. 2, get the Wolfenstein thing off my screen. I don't want to see the flames. Make it so it takes longer to throw. Maybe a longer animation to throw the thing. That will make people not want to run it. If it doesn't come out of your hand as fast as a throwing knife, it's going to be less people wanting to run it, including me. You know, make it so it doesn't blind you so much. Make it so it's not as loud. There's so many things you can do rather than making a perk that supposedly makes you immune to any damage from it. It is just lazy, and it just, you know, that is one of those things where it's like, did they do any sort of testing or ever think about this? Or I don't get it.
Yeah, because even if you make the fire, even if you nerf it more, Molotovs are still going to be good for area denial.
Yeah.
That's the reason you run it. So like if you're playing DOS House Domination, you would maybe switch to an incendiary or a molly or a thermite because you know that's the area denial lethal. Even though it comes out of your hand slower or doesn't do that much damage, you're at least area denying. That's fine. Make it do less damage then. It's still going to serve a purpose. Not with Dauntless making people immune to fire. You've now taken that off the table. But yeah, I think you could just nerf it without having this Dauntless fire immunity bullshit.
Yeah, so. And why do people run Molotov less? Because it does less damage and it takes longer to throw. It's a longer animation, and you see way less people running that than like Thermite or something. Because Thermite is the speed of a throwing knife when it comes out of your hand. That thing is just on target immediately. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So other than that, Tanner, any other thoughts on the mid-season update in Vanguard? Yeah, I just had one more thought. Shotguns are still the best guns in the game. I can't believe how often I'm still just dying to shotguns. I died to akimbo double barrel shotguns numerous times yesterday from, 20 feet away in 2 shots. They're still ridiculous. We've said it many times. Stop even putting shotguns in video games because you can't figure out how to balance them. They're either terrible, useless guns, or they are the most overpowered weapon category in the game. Let's just stop with it, right? Let's just stop putting them in. Just give it up. You can't
I
figure it
agree.
out.
Yeah. Yep. Take shotguns out of FPS games. It really is that simple. They're not fun. They're only fun to use because they're so easy, brainless, and overpowered.
Yep.
That's the only thing that makes them fun. And playing, there's no counterplay either. Like
Camp.
so
That's
many
the
times.
counterplay. Sit in the back corner and don't move.
Well,
Yeah.
if they have a combat shotgun, good luck because
That's
they're
true,
going to snipe you. That's the problem in FPS games. This is a point I will always make when it's relevant, as it is now. Don't add things to your game that don't have counterplay or outplay potential. That is the worst thing you can do, and a shotgun is one such thing. This is why Cold War snipers were so fucking stupid. There was no counterplay.
Yeah.
In a normal FPS game, the counterplay to a sniper is to get shots on because there's flinch. That wasn't in Cold War. Therefore, there was no outplay potential against a sniper. Therefore, it was bad for the game. Same thing with shotguns in Vanguard. They're too good. There's no outplay potential. I've so many times still, even after this update, I get shots on the guy first. He's one shot. Doesn't matter. One tapped with a shotgun, 20 meters away. Cool.
Yep.
It's ridiculous. So I'm glad you've added that point. Shotguns are still too good. Yes, absolutely. And that needs to be changed, of course.
Yep.
All right. So now we're going to get into Warzone. In this section, we have split into 3 categories. Neutral, cons, and pros. And we're probably going to think of some other things to add as we go. So we might be done with the con section and then think of a con. Figure it out.
Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness.
Excuse me. Think about figure it out.
Belch? Was that a belch?
That was a little baby belch, yeah. Little pussy belch. A queef, maybe. And we'll edit that out.
Yeah, we'll actually edit that one out.
So okay. So we'll start with neutral. First point here. The well gun feels fucking weird. Okay. It doesn't feel bad. Doesn't feel good. It feels weird. So let me explain. So, okay. I was watching Symphony this morning, right before this podcast, and he was using the well gun, and he got a kill with it, and I watched it happen, and he had the exact same experience that I had yesterday, where it was like he starts shooting a guy who's fucking 10, 15 meters in front of him, and it's like he gets no hit reg, and then all of a sudden he starts getting reg and kills the guy. And Symphony's like, dude, I don't like this gun. Like, I just don't like it. I think the fire rate is too slow. I don't like slow fire rate guns. That was his theory on why it was like weird. My theory on why it was weird was velocity. I was attributing the weird hit reg to terrible velocity. I don't know what it is. I don't think
Could
it's
be
the
your
fire
terrible
rate.
aim.
No, dude, I'm not kidding. Symphony I watched him multiple times. The exact same experience that I was having, where it's like you're shooting the guy, your reticle's on him, you're not getting hit markers, and then like you'd get hit markers later or something. It's just fucking bizarre, dude. I don't know how to explain it better than that. It feels like bad reg. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know what's causing this. I don't think it's the fire rate because it doesn't fire that slow. It's not a PPSH, but it's not that bad. It's slower than an MP40 for sure. But
Kind of
it's
seems
faster
similar
than,
to
like,
an
a
Owen
bar.
gun. Yeah. Doesn't
like
it
an
seem
Owen
similar to
gun,
an Owen?
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the reg is worse. I don't know what it is though. I don't know what's causing it. So that's a neutral observation. Something's off with the well gun. Something's wrong with it. I think some of the attachments are just not working as intended. I think that is what's going on. Because I don't know, man. The reg is fucking weird. It's just a strange, weird gun. But it's not bad. I was using it yesterday, hashtag team captain, and I was fucking cooking with it. And mine wasn't even max level. So I like the gun, and it chunks, it fucks. But there were times where it just felt weird. Like weird hit reg or something. I don't know how to explain it. But I thought maybe this was just me or something. But then when I watched Symphony, he had the same exact experience. I was like, okay, there's something going on with this gun, and I don't know what it is. So, Yeah, I don't know if it's some like attachment is bugged or the barrel doesn't fucking do anything or something, but it's strange. Have you used it in Warzone? I don't think you have, right?
because I didn't unlock it till last night, so I haven't used it. I have a question though. When you're watching Young Symphony play, was he using a suppressor on that thing?
I don't know. I don't remember. I would assume no, honestly. I feel like all the demons use recoil booster.
Because I was going to say, I feel like that's a gun you need recoil booster on. So as I was saying earlier, it seems like the perfect fire rate for multiplayer, not for Warzone. Seems too slow for Warzone. I think you're pretty much required to use a recoil booster on that thing, which is fine by me. I haven't been running suppressors anyways. I'm not scared of showing up on the minimap. I'll shoot in the air. Come towards me. I'll kill you. I don't care. I don't need a little silencer. What am I, a pussy like Raz? Give me a recoil booster, man. So I'm excited to try it and test that out. I've heard very mixed things on it, though. Usually a gun comes out, and it's like, oh, this thing sucks or this thing's really good. I've seen people say anything from, this gun fucking blows in Warzone to, dude, this thing is nutty, busted overpowered. So maybe it's something we haven't figured out yet. Maybe it's like a controller gun or something like that. Because like Symphony didn't like it. You didn't like it. L was talking about how good it is. L's a controller rat now. He's switched off of K-Bam. So it could be something weird
Quitter,
like that.
pussy.
Yeah, quitter. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm excited to try it, but I do think that low fire rate would get you killed at times, and that recoil booster is necessary on it because you weren't using that on it, were you?
There are other attachments for fire rate too. There's a barrel and there's also an ammo type, so you could get a way higher fire rate even without recoil booster.
Oh, then yeah, you're just dog shit. You were just.
I don't think I was using. I was using the barrel. But not
well,
the
you weren't
ammo.
using any barrel. There's no barrel on that thing.
Well, yeah, I switched off of that one and I went to the fire rate barrel. Because I thought, that's what I first thought. Like, oh, this barrel that's invisible might not be doing anything. So maybe that's why my hit reg is weird because I have no velocity from my barrel. Let me change it. So I tried that and it still felt kind of weird. I don't know. I think the fact that it's getting mixed reviews on the timeline on the TL speaks to either maybe you're right, people just don't know the setup yet, or there might be something off with it. I think there's something off with at least some attachments that I was using, maybe. That could be it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's
But let's talk about the fucking recoil booster real quick, okay? And fuck you, and I don't want to hear this slander. I don't know where I sit with this. Okay, because no, let me tell you. 2.8
Caldera KD. Continue though.
1.9 actually. Hashtag team captain.
I'm talking about me. I don't. Yeah, your KD's awful.
Oh, your KD's 0.8. That's what you said. 0.8. Got it. We'll keep.
Imagine having below a 2.0 KD. Holy shit. Imagine.
Well, he cheats. So I was running the recoil booster. Many people do on their SMGs because it is a muzzle that gives you more fire rate, and more fire rate.
It's a muzzle device
is always good. So you might be thinking now, oh, of course you should run that, you fucking idiot. Well, hold on. If you run a recoil booster, you can't run a fucking silencer, because that's also a muzzle device. So you have to pick one. So here's the thing. Most of the time, recoil booster is going to be better. However, I was in a situation where it was fours. There were 2 teams left. My team all died. They're dog shit. Hashtag team captain. And it was 1 versus 3. So it was me versus 3 other people. Last 2 teams. Final circle.
They don't know where 2 teams left.
What?
There were more than 2 teams left.
No, there were just 2 teams. It was my team, only me alive, and then 3 other people all on the same team.
Okay.
What are you not understanding about that?
There was more teams than that left at that point, but okay, continue.
You weren't there. I wasn't playing with you. I was playing with Chris and L.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about where it was you and I, and then I died, and then you.
Oh, no. Okay. No, this was a while ago. This is what I'm saying. Yeah. So it was, so me versus 3 people. I have Ghost, so they don't know where I am, but my SMG has recoil booster on it. So I'm looking around. I see one of the guys. None of them have any clue where I am. I take out my SMG. I destroy him because I'm behind him. He has no idea where I am. Since I didn't have a silencer, they instantly look at me and I'm dead. And then the game's over. And I got really mad because I was like, fuck me. If I had a silencer, I bet you they don't find me that fast. And we might have been able to win the game. Because I was in a pretty good spot to like get to the other people and kill them too. But since I didn't have a silencer, they instantly knew where I was and they fucked my ass. So then I was like, God damn it. I guess I just have to run a silencer on SMGs. Damn. But I don't know if that's the case. Is it worth running a silencer for the small percentage of times you're in a similar situation to that? Or is recoil booster overall in general a better attachment to run? I don't know. I'm undecided on this. What are your thoughts?
I'm still undecided too. I've been running recoil booster though. That's all I ran yesterday because mostly I was using the BAR, the BAR, the Browning automatic rifle, and the pish pish. And so on both of those, I was running the recoil booster because on the BAR, it's you have to pretty much, or the fire rate. I mean, the fire rate's still low with that thing on. So you definitely have to run it. And the PPSH, it just makes it even better. Higher fire rate on an SMG like that on a hip fire build is ideal. So that's what I was running. We were doing fine. We got like 3 or 4 wins yesterday. I got some decent high kill games. So I don't know. I kind of am starting to care less and less about suppressors, and I think a lot of people are. I think you're seeing a lot less people run it now.
Yeah, I think I'll go back to recoil booster because I think you're right. I think you're probably right. I don't think it's worth gimping yourself on the off chance you're in a situation like that where you'll die without a silencer, you know? I think that's pretty rare. So I think you're probably right. I probably should get back on it. So that might help.
I think also once Vanguard guns maybe get to the point where they're undoubtedly better than Cold War and MW guns, if that ever comes, then we'll see kind of a shift off suppressors and to recoil boosters. Because it's like right now, if you're playing regular BR, half the kids are still using an XM4 anyway. So it's like they're all running suppressors. But if those guys ever figure out there's a new video game out, which is Call of Duty Vanguard, and there's new guns in the game, maybe they'll start using those, and then there will be less people running suppressors over time. And I hope that's what Warzone ends up turning into, is not everyone running suppressors, but who knows?
Yeah. It would be nice. It would be nice for sure. But I'll do some more testing on that. I'll go back to the recoil booster for a while, see how many times it fucks me. But all of this, anyways, the original point, well gun feels fucking weird. And if you guys have been using the well gun in Warzone, let me know if you've had weird experiences with it, or if it works as you think it should and it's terrible, or if it works as it should and it's really good. Please let me know what your experience is with this gun, because I'm curious if anyone else understands what I'm saying with it being fucking just bizarre. So anyways, it's fun to use though. I like it. So what's this next point, Tanner? Neutral point on Warzone mid-season update.
Yeah, we're excited about the NZ41 because they changed it, and so the recoil ramp up is supposedly 1 bullet later now. So we had said on Thursday, oh, maybe this will make this kind of, or put this back in the meta again. Because the NZ41 was like the first meta AR in the game, and then they made other ARs better. And so people stopped using the NZ41. Every other AR in the game, you can pretty much hold down full auto and the recoil stays about the same. NZ41 is the only one where you can hold it down. There's not much recoil until like the 11th or 12th bullet, and then the recoil is terrible. A lot of vertical,
unusable.
A lot of horizontal. Don't know which one's coming next, if it's going to the right or the left.
Yeah, a lot of deviation.
Yeah. And it just makes it really, really bad. So they changed that, so the ramp up is 1 bullet later. We thought, oh, maybe this will put the NZ41 back in the mix. It did not. I used the groundly NZ41 a lot yesterday. I wanted to try that thing out. I kept thinking it was going to be good. It never was. It felt exactly the same. I didn't use a custom one, but I used the groundlit ones a lot, and I went out of my way to pick them up so I could test that, see if it felt any better. It didn't. So I think if they want the NZ41 to be good, they need to essentially entirely remove that ramp up at that point, and maybe just add a little bit more recoil to the gun in general. but just get rid of that crazy deviation that it gets when you fire like 12 consecutive rounds. I mean, yeah, you can stop firing full auto, but it's hard to get used to that when you're used to every other AR in the game you can just hold down, and then that one you can't do that. It's just,
yeah, exactly.
It's just weird.
If you have to gallop with it when there are options that don't require you to do that, it's never going to be the meta AR in that case, because you're ruining your TTK if you have to stop shooting to get a kill every single time.
Yeah.
Like if you have to gallop a gun to get a kill, and there are other guns where you don't, even if the like shots to kill is lower with an NZ41, the TTK is still going to be way higher because you're stopping your rate of you're stopping shooting for a couple milliseconds. So the NZ will never be a long range meta gun if it behaves this way. And there are a couple other guns that do this too. The bar is one, actually. I don't think it's as bad as the NZ, but it does have that, like, once the sustained recoil pattern kicks in, it's a lot. At least from what I remember. You used it.
I didn't
so
notice
maybe
it a
that's
whole
not
lot
true.
yesterday. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So maybe not. I don't know. But yeah, the NZ41 was the first gun I tried after the mid-season update. I made a long-range build for it. I have it max level. I put on the 10 meta long-range AR attachments, and it's completely absurd and unusable. Yeah, it's just not worth it. Because like the recoil is like really nice before the sustained recoil pattern kicks in, but as soon as it does, it's impossible to control.
Yeah,
way too much deviation, jittery, jumpy. It doesn't like gradually rotate or like whatever recoil up left. Even if it did it gradually but very dramatically, like a lot, that would still be way better than this. Because this one, it's like you fire your 11th bullet and your reticle just teleports 2 meters to the left. And then your 12th bullet, 8 meters to the right. You can't, and it just like instantly, there's no pattern. It's just absurd. It's just absurdity.
Yeah, far
and
left,
it can't
far
be
right.
controlled. Yeah, so you can't, this is unusable as a long range gun. It might be like a whatever sniper support gun, maybe, but also no. The fire rate's too low. The handling's too slow. It's never going to be better than like a Cooper carbine or even a fucking automaton or STG would be as a sniper support AR.
Yeah.
So therefore, the NZ just has no place in the meta. It's not good. It's not good for anything.
I agree.
Ooh.
Another little
Excuse
belch.
me. Yeah. And then another gun I was trying was the AS 44. I was going to try
I
the
put
STG.
that in the pros if you want to get into that later, unless you want us to talk about it now.
Okay, yeah, we'll get into it later. Yeah, okay. So that's it for neutral. Now let's move on to cons. So here's what I've written down. I can't really think of any cons of this patch, but that's kind of a con in and of itself, and I'll tell you why. So all the changes we've gotten, they seemed reasonable, not too dramatic, and well done. Bravo. And we kind of talked about that when we were discussing the patch notes, and it seems to be the case. Raven makes fairly small iterative steps toward weapon balance with respect to both buffs and nerfs. That's what it looked like on paper. That's how it feels in game. The Bren isn't ruined. It's still a perfectly usable good gun, but it's not overpowered anymore. The AS-44 is not overpowered, but it's definitely better now, etc. The buffs and nerfs were appropriate, well done, and not super crazy or transformative. However, with that said, it's kind of a con in and of itself. Game doesn't feel very much different.
No.
It's a fairly lackluster mid-season update because what did we really get? Really good weapon balance patch. And we'll get into that more. And a new SMG that's usable and good. Cool. That's all, folks. That's all we've gotten. It seems relatively underwhelming. Not much really happened. So everything that did change with this mid-season update, I would say, was a good change, or at least a neutral change. So I'll take it, especially by Warzone standards. I'll definitely take that. But nothing was crazy. We didn't get a bunch of new guns. We didn't get a new fucking spot on the map. Not that I would necessarily expect that for a mid-season update, but I would have liked maybe a new AR as well, or a new sniper or something. Well, we already got the new sniper.
Yeah.
But it's semi-auto. Stop. So I don't know. I would have liked a new AR, another SMG. And I don't know if we've ever had a mid-season update where we get 2 guns at the same time. I actually don't think we have. So maybe that's asking too much. But I do know that we've gotten mid-season updates for Warzone that were more transformative than this one was. So that's all. It's not a big con, but that's the con, I would say. What are your thoughts?
One of the biggest things for me is supposedly they reduced visual recoil on a lot of guns. I didn't really feel that at all. That felt no different. And I don't remember what we said on Thursday, but I feel like that's kind of what we said, is that we're like, I don't think most of the guns, there are some that have quite a bit of visual, but most of them just, I didn't notice a ton of visual recoil anyway. So I don't know what they were trying to fix or change, but that didn't feel any different at all. So I'm not sure what's going on there. But yeah, overall, I mean, the patch was fine. Nothing got worse, it seems. But yeah, nothing really changed a whole lot. And again, as we've been saying, I wouldn't expect it to be in like an ideal spot until February. You know, they're starting to roll out more and more. Now they're in the balancing. They're still working on fixing a lot of the console issues and stuff. They've already came out and said that. So I think we're on the right track of getting the game in a good spot coming next month, but we still just aren't there yet.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, that's what I would say the only con is. But this is like, again, we shouldn't have expected, and we didn't expect, in fact, the map to change with the mid-season 1 update. The map just came out. So I wouldn't have expected this to be a super transformative mid-season patch anyway.
Yeah.
But the fact that it wasn't is still somewhat of a con. But this is very nitpicky and minor. Overall, I'm happy with it. But we'll get more into that. Now we're going to get into the pros. Weapon balance seems significantly better, at least so far. So it is possible that there's some gun that's insanely overpowered that people just have not figured out yet. That was the case with the Bren. The Bren was overpowered since day 1. People just didn't know that right away.
Yeah.
So we didn't experience it. So that could be the case now, but so far the balance seems very good. There was no gun that was common yesterday when we played for 4 hours. I didn't see a gun more. I don't know. I don't remember seeing it that much. I don't know.
I died to that a lot for some reason. XM4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. That's interesting. Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, to me, it's like it wasn't like when the fucking Farah came out and every single death was to a Farah.
Yeah.
We're not even close to that, or the Bruin or the Grau. It's an extremely eclectic meta right now. And every time I die, it's to some new and different, fun and exciting gun. That people aren't using that much, because no one's using any single gun that much right now. So usually what that's indicative of is a good meta, good weapon balance. This is something we saw in the later seasons of Verdansk, especially before the OTS had come out. If you died to an SMG 10 times in a session, you probably died to 7 different SMGs. Like, people were just using all them things. That's because the SMG weapon balance was really good. And they were all usable, and they all had their own strengths, and people were using a lot of different SMGs.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I experienced in a very long session yesterday after this patch, is that people are using a bunch of different primaries. And that means the weapon balance is probably pretty good. And if it's not, then we haven't figured out the OP thing yet. But if we do, Raven will patch it, just like they did with the Bren, and they did an excellent job with the Bren. Speaking of the Bren, how was that weapon change? Good. Perfect, in fact. People are still using the Bren. The Bren still fucks, but it's not overpowered. You definitely need to hit way more shots if people are really far away now. I would say the Bren is just balanced now. It's a good gun. It's solid, but it's not overpowered at all. I think it's just a good option. I don't think it's overpowered anymore. So that's exactly what you want to see with a weapon nerf. You don't want to see what they did to the Kilo, which is completely remove it from the game effectively by making it the worst gun literally in the game, which the Kilo is still the worst assault rifle in Warzone. Well, there's the Itra Burst and the FR556, I guess, but among the worst. because it has an extra damage drop off that no other gun has. So that didn't happen with the Bren. The Bren's still quite good, but it's not overpowered anymore. So I think the weapon balance is quite good now, and I'm very pleased with that, and I'm very excited by it, and it makes me very happy. So, what are your thoughts?
I disagree about the Bren. I think it's still way too good at like medium range. So I didn't use it myself, but from what Lag was using it like all day, and I died to it plenty of times still. And from what I noticed, spectating Lag is like long ranges, like 60 plus meters, noticeably worse, which is great. That's fine. I think they balance that well. Where it didn't seem any different at all was like under 40 meters. Lag was still fucking frying with it. I still think it doesn't have enough recoil. I still think it handles too well. And I still think it does too much damage. It was still melting. There was one point, a game yesterday, we ended up losing to that team that we thought was cheating because they kept beaming like every time we would peek.
By the fountain?
Yes, by the fountain. So that game, that was the only time yesterday. I was running into the building, so I was running through the doorway, and I died so fast. And I said, holy shit. Whatever I just got down to, that is the most broken gun in the game. I died so fast. I watched the kill cam. It was the Bren. The guy was 30 meters away. I was like, okay, so they did nothing to change the Bren. I died so fast I could not even react. He shot me, downed me, and I wasn't even able to crawl around the corner inside the house before he was just beaming me through the door and just melted me. It still seems way too good at ranges like that. So noticeably better at long distances with the damage drop-offs now, but I still think it needs more at close range. There's no way there's any Vanguard AR that would have killed me as fast as the Bren killed me at that range.
Yeah.
No shot. So I think it's still way too good.
That's interesting. You might be right, but the reason you could argue, I don't know if I believe this, but maybe I do. The reason you could argue that that's okay is because it's still like, it's only got 40 rounds and the reload speed is terribly slow. And you can't see the right side of your screen when you're using that gun. These are factors that you need to take into account when you're saying a gun is like OP, I think.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, it'll kill you really fast when they're ready, when they're good and ready to do it. But the ramp up time or the reload time and shit, I think those are contributing factors to make it maybe not OP. Because it's not like it's like an M-dub M4 ADSing that fast and reloading, or like a Cold War AK in like sub 500 milliseconds or something,
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know if I believe that, but those are just things to consider. But yeah, it still fucks inside of its first damage range because that didn't really get affected.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. So yeah, either way, the Bren's better now. And it's at least not unusable anymore.
And that's, Raven very well may nerf it more, and that's what they do. They do little at a time. So they didn't gut the thing, and I did say that at one point yesterday. It's not unusable now, so that's good, but I still think it needs a little bit more inside those earlier, damage ranges.
Yeah. Yeah, and I have faith in Raven, like you just said. Exactly.
Yeah.
Tell me about the bar.
Okay, I tried the bar again yesterday. I used Metaphor's loadout, who's an insane K-Bam player. Went to his YouTube video. He just posted one like 2 days ago. The bar. I'm like, oh, cool. I'm gonna use this sucker. It was very, very fun. I used the 50 cal 30 round mag, not the 40, because I think the mobility in ADS is a lot worse than the 40. So I used that. I used the recoil booster, and I used the SVT 40 scope. This thing was very, very good. So this, as we were talking about visual recoil, this has a lot of visual recoil. When you're zoomed in 6 times, it's got a lot of visual recoil, but if you actually watch where your bullets are hitting and then stop after like 6 bullets and look at what it does, there's actually not a lot of recoil on the bar at all. It's like all visual. You get like this weird kind of shake in the reticle and on your screen, Not like the bug shake, though, that it had before they fixed it. Like, not some jarring thing, but visually, you're getting recoil. But if you actually watch, I'm pretty sure my setup literally had negative recoil. It would not go up. It was just going side to side and down. So it felt really good to me. You know, definitely not my favorite gun, but it was interesting to run. I enjoyed it. First game on with it, I dropped like 15 or 16 kills combined with the Hipfire PPSH, which I was the original Hipfire PPSH user of Caldera. Everyone's just now jumping on it. That's my loadout. You can thank me for the Hipfire PPSH. And it was a really fun build. I was having a blast with it. I mean, the fire rate's not ideal on the BAR, but it was hitting. I don't know how it would be if I was going head to head with someone with another AR like 20 meters, but for like the way I was using it, you know, shooting people pretty far away, it was firing. It was doing well for me, and I was really enjoying it. Nice little change of pace. You don't see a whole lot of people running the BAR. Again, didn't have a suppressor on that, or the PPSH. Didn't feel like I needed them. Didn't feel like it got me killed ever, but I also wasn't really thinking about it, and I was a big fan of it. So, yeah.
I think balance-wise, the bar is in a good spot because it has really strong strengths and really bad weaknesses, and that's how we like weapons. We want them to have their own identity, be good at shit and be bad at shit, and if that's what you want, then it's a good weapon. Yeah. The bar is like the symbol of like what we want to see. The bar is the symbol. It's the emblem of weapon identities.
Yeah.
Because it has a very unique identity. It's not overpowered and it's not dog shit.
Yeah.
It's like the perfect example of what I like with respect to weapon balance. Because, yeah, dude, that thing absolutely fucks. It shoots cinder blocks. Just so much goddamn... Yeah, so much damage. But the fire rate is terrible. So that's what you have to contend with. So I haven't tried the bar. I won't try it again because the last time I tried it, it's good and it's strong and it's absolutely viable. But what I hated about it, the downside is not for me. Some people are fine with a really slow fire rate. They can adapt to it. I don't wanna. So I won't play with it. So unless they changed... Got it. Unless they changed the fire rate of the bar, I wouldn't try it again. However... that doesn't mean I don't recognize that it's balanced very well, and it's perfectly a great weapon, and it can fuck.
Yeah.
And it's good. So, yeah, I won't try it again. Don't care. Fuck I might try it again. But I'm glad to hear that it felt nice, because it didn't feel overpowered. Would you say it felt overpowered?
Oh, no, not at all. No.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's good.
It was hitting, though.
That thing be hitting. So the next weapon... the AS-44. This was 44. After I tried the Nazi, unfortunately, the NZ-41, which is terrible. I tried the AS-44, the AS-44, assault rifle Omega Cringe, or whatever fucking Greek letter they've assigned to it. And I liked it a lot, actually, because they buffed it, or some of its attachments, maybe both. And I was like, okay, let me try this thing again. So I put that thing on and I set it up as a long range AR, whatever. And I was in the pregame lobby and I started shooting it and I was like, oh my God, this thing has a lot of recoil. But then I kept holding the trigger down and it just stopped moving. And I was like, oh, I see what's going on here. This is like a Cold War MP5 with a scope on it. And what I mean by that is it went very dramatically, sharply, and quickly up, recoil-wise. Straight up. And then, after, I don't know, 10 bullets, it's done moving now. No more recoil. You have no more recoil now. It just stays exactly where it is. So when you're using it, you need to pull down on that thing for your first couple shots, but once your brace weapon perk kicks in, once all those attachments that you have that help accuracy during sustained fire kick in, coupled with the fact that it has very good sustained recoil patterns by default, it just stops moving very much. This is another example of something I like. This is a weapon that takes some skill to use, but it's not impossible to use like an NZ41. But it just takes some effort to control the recoil.
An amount of skill.
This is the opposite of the FARA, when the agency suppressor and the field agent grip locked your bullets to where your reticle is. That took no skill. There was no effort ever for the entire 60 rounds. There wasn't initial recoil, sustained recoil, or end of the mag recoil. There was none. But this is like a good example of how when we say we don't want guns with no recoil, they can function something like this. Now, I'm not saying every AR should have strong recoil to start and then stop moving. It's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying make the guns have recoil in some capacity. You could have another gun where like the NZ41, where the first 10 bullets are very accurate, straight, very little recoil, and then it starts having some recoil. Not as much as an NZ, that's impossible to use, but more. That would be another way to add a gun that has recoil that requires some skill to use, but you can still use it. So anyways, on the AS44, it's also very satisfying to use for this reason. Because when you see some guy pretty far away, you start shooting, and you really nail your recoil control for those first 10 bullets, and you hit a lot of them, man, it's a deeply satisfying way to get a kill. Because you had to control it, and then it's finally locked in. That brace thing kicks in. Your sustained recoil things kick in. It stops moving, and you keep fucking chunking. It's deeply satisfying to use. It's deeply satisfying to get kills with, because you have to do something to earn the kill. And also, the time to kill with it felt good. Felt strong. Didn't feel overpowered. It's got a good fire rate. Seems like it has good damage range and good damage. And good multipliers. Didn't feel overpowered. Didn't feel like it deleted people, but it didn't feel like it shot marshmallows either. The damage and the damage range and all of that, it felt pretty good. It felt reasonable. It's fun to use. The recoil control is doable. And I had a fucking lot of fun using it. I don't know.
What scope did you use with it?
I started with the night vision scope, but like you said, I was running into cold-blooded gamers that were very difficult to see.
Yeah.
So then I just put on the 2.5.
Okay.
Because I think that initial recoil is a little too much for the 3.6. I think it would be a little too much for that.
Probably.
So I just went with the 2.5, and I was really liking it with the 2.5. But I don't know how the time to kill, the theoretical time to kill, compares to like every other Vanguard AR. That data isn't on True Game Data's website yet, I don't think. At least not the last time I checked, unfortunately. So I would be very curious to see what those numbers are. But without knowing that, yeah, it feels fucking solid. I don't know if it's better than like an STG or something. I haven't used STG or an Automaton. I suspect those are pretty fucking good. But the AS44 felt very fun.
Yeah. I'm glad you tried it as like a long range, medium range build, because I used it for the opposite. So I kind of felt like sniping a little bit yesterday. I hadn't been sniping much in Caldera, so I used the Swiss and I tried out the AS44 as a close range sniper support. My build ended up not being exactly what I wanted. It was the mobility on it was a little slow. ADS speed was a little slow. ADS movement speed was a little slow. But what it did do, recoil was a little much. But what it did do is it fucked close up. This thing dominated. Really? So I of course used the recoil booster. I believe it's a barrel that also increases the fire rate. I think that AS44 has it, and I think there may have been a magazine. I don't remember, but I used all of the fire rate attachments that I could put on it. And I was using this thing to clear buildings. Quite a bit of recoil. It wasn't great past like 15 meters, but I was using it as an SMG basically, which not the best mobility SMG, but it felt so fucking good. I was frying people. I was downing them so fast, but I just kept getting in these situations where I'm like, okay, this guy's at like a weird angle. I can't snipe him very easily, and he's out of range because he's like 20, 25 meters, where this AS44, the recoil is too much to kill him from that far. So I was kind of running into that.
Okay.
But we had a game that ended in capital. We won that game, and we were clearing buildings. There was a lot of people left in that circle. It was like
that was a fun fucking end game.
Yeah, there was like 40 people left or something. Like, and it was a small circle in capital.
We had to just dust a team to take it.
Yeah, we had to clear that thing. We were clearing rooftops, and the last few people that pushed up, I just sprayed them all down with the AS-44 and then throwing knife. Oh my god, it felt so good. So I was having a great time using that. Need to make some changes though. See what I can do for better mobility. I just know I could have changed the stock on it, I know, and gotten better mobility, but I would have had even more recoil. So I was kind of running into that issue, but that means the gun is balanced well, that I have to figure out what I can put on the thing to get me what I'm looking for, but then also not make it such a bad gun that it's unusable in terms of recoil and stuff. So it was interesting to set up. It felt really good though, close range. I enjoyed it.
That's cool. The mobility was good?
No, it wasn't great. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it killed really fast,
but like it would be the worst part of it.
Yeah. So it killed pretty fast, or really fast. It felt good, great fire rate, but a lot of recoil, not very good mobility.
I see. Okay.
But I can make some changes and probably figure out a different setup for it.
So I just went on True Game Data's website. He does have, I don't know if I just didn't notice this sooner or if this was recent, but he does have some Vanguard ARs. I think I was looking at marksman rifles. I think
he just doesn't have attachments on it. This is just base guns he has.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. So I just compared the time to kill with the base weapon, no attachments on either, of an AS-44 to a Cold War AK-47. I used a Cold War AK because it's just a solid, well-rounded gun. You can use it as long range or sniper support, and it's just fucking solid. It's a very extremely well-rounded gun. So I chose that. And hitting chest shots on someone with full plates at every range, the AS-44 kills very slightly faster than an AK, both with no attachments. So when you add attachments into the mix, this might change. Probably not much, but maybe. But okay, that kind of confirms that the AS-44 is actually good.
Yeah.
It's not just satisfying, like I was saying. So that's good to know. What was I going to say?
And that's base, So if you put fire rate attachments on that thing, that's getting better too.
Yes, it is. So this doesn't take into account, though, like recoil. Yeah. AS-44 is harder to control than a Cold War AK at long range.
Yeah, a lot harder.
And that's exactly what we want. AS-44 will kill faster, but it's going to be harder to hit all those shots and achieve that TTK. That's called weapon balance. That's called good weapon balance. Good fucking job, Raven. I'll close my window one sec.
Yeah. Yeah, so AS-44 is one of those guns that can be set up a few different ways, it seems like, and be used kind of for what you're looking for. So I still don't know if ARs being used as sniper supports are the move on Caldera, but it was fun to experiment with it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't sniped with anything but a Cooper carbine because I feel like I do need an AR on this map. But I don't know. Maybe that's not true. I'd have to play more. I'd have to snipe more, frankly. Are there any other weapons that you want to try that were maybe changed in this patch that you haven't tried yet?
I want to try the auto again. I heard some mixed things on that.
One's fucks.
I haven't used the ground loot one, really. But yeah, I want to try that, and then not really. I'm just waiting for the Volk to be buffed. I want the Volk to be good so fucking bad because I love it in multiplayer. So I want it to be a good gun. I want that to be the ultimate sniper support gun.
Yes.
So I hope it gets some love here soon because it's never been good, and they haven't done like any changes to it. So not sure what's going on.
Have you tried it as sniper support?
Early on, yeah. Like, before they even had a weapon balancing patch, I tried it, and it was dog shit. It was terrible.
Interesting. I think it might be decent sniper support if it's leveled.
Yeah.
I don't know, though. Maybe not. I don't know. I'd be interested to try it.
Yeah, I should go back
and
test it.
I've just been using that Coopy boy. Because that thing fucks, but...
Coop's always good.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really think of any other weapons I want to try that were changed. Yeah. I think we kind of covered all of them, or all the big ones.
Yeah.
There were a couple other, like they changed shotguns. Tanner and I don't hate ourselves and other people, so we don't use shotguns.
Yeah.
So we did try those, don't want to, don't care. Fuck you if you use shotguns in any FPS game, unless it's single player, then use it to your heart's content and beat up the computer. But don't use them against people, too rude. Anyways, besides that, they changed some minor things with other guns, like they MP40 hip fire with one attachment is like worse now, don't care. The MP40 is the same. I mean,
it still felt really good.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's kind of it. And then last point I want to talk about is sniper flinch. So is this a pro? I think so. Is this related to the mid-season update? No, it isn't actually. But I'm going to talk about it now anyway, and fuck you. So they've added like flinch to snipers, some of them, to be kind of in line with what sniper flinch has been on other snipers. So, you know, the car used to have no flinch. In fact, if you got shot, it would automatically lock to the person's head. They've changed that, so that has some flinch now. So does the Swiss. And then the Vanguard snipers on day one had a good amount of flinch. And I was sniping a little bit yesterday, and the flinch just ruined some kills for me. We lost a game, in fact, because of flinch. That fountain game that Tanner was referring to earlier, it was just us versus one other team. And I had a sniper and like a level 30 well gun. I had that 30-aught thing on my 3-line rifle and a well gun that was like level 30. And I know where the guys are. I peeked them, I'm not kidding, on 4 or 5 separate occasions. And I know where they're at. I'm literally pre-aiming it, peeking the angle, and I'm ready. As soon as I shoot, it's a headshot. But I can't get it because the guy's getting shots on me and I'm flinching all over the place and I miss. And if I had a pre-nerf M-dub car, 5 out of those 5 times, I get a down and we win that game. Easily, by the way. Like, super easily. I mean, I'm literally pre-aimed right at the guy's head. I just need to strafe out of cover and get it. But I couldn't do it because I had the 30-aught thing. And there was too much flinch. So you might be thinking, wow, that must have been annoying for you. It was, but also this is a good thing that's in the game. Snipers need flinch, especially on this map. And if you're fucking malding because you really like to get car headshot TikToks, and now you can't because, well, I'm getting shot. Now I can't fucking auto lock onto their heads anymore. Good, fuck you. You shouldn't be able to do that. And every single person on the game would be sniping if there was still no fucking flinch on a Swiss or a car. I'm glad they added this. This was a good change. It would be insanely, obscenely overpowered. The likes of which you've never seen before. You think you remember a sniper meta in fucking Verdansk? Hey, if there were no flinch still on a fucking M-dub car, you wouldn't know what a sniper meta looked like. It would be everyone sniping. It would be way too overpowered and way too good. It needs some counterplay. Even with the amount of flinch snipers have now, snipers are still insanely fucking good on this map. Because a lot of times, hey, I'm getting shot by a sniper. I have no fucking idea where he is. How many times has that happened to you? Because it happens to me.
You don't see glint
day.
through the trees because they're zoomed in and they can see you through the branches, but you're looking up and you're looking through 4 trees worth of branches, and so you can't see shit. You literally don't see glint, but they see you clear. So yeah, there's plenty of instances where the snipers are just as good because you don't get shot back and you can still get kills and downs. It's
the
just
flinch isn't a factor.
Yeah,
exactly.
in the instances where you're one-on-one against someone with an AR, they know where you're at, they're shooting at you, then they're much more balanced now. It is, you know, it's a little bit sad because it was the Car 98 and Swiss were so much fun, but yes, they always have been a little overpowered. So
yeah,
the snipers definitely need flinch, and I think they're handling it well.
I think this is a really good, smart way to balance snipers, and I'm glad they did it. And if you think this makes sniping unviable on Caldera, you're out of your fucking mind, because it doesn't. Because like Tanner just said, there are many times where you can be sniping And that dude has no fucking idea where you are, so it doesn't matter if there's flinch because he's not going to shoot you. He doesn't know where you are. And then you can get like free low easy kills. But then they also added counterplay potential, where if I see you and I start getting shots on, you're not going to get headshot me unless you get extremely lucky.
Yeah.
Good. That's a good way to balance snipers on this map, and I'm glad they did it. Very glad they did it.
Yep.
So, other than that, Tanner, Dropshot, any other things you would like to talk about with this mid-season update? Vanguard, Warzone, Twitter?
No, I don't think so. I think we're good.
What are your overall impressions on the mid-season update?
About what I expected. We didn't expect a bunch of content or anything, so the balance updates were done well. They at least finally addressed all like the issues that people are having, especially on consoles, and they've told us, we're sorry, we're going to be doing this, we'll be rolling out more updates soon. This is a start. It won't fix everything, but just so you guys know, so I'm glad they told us that. So overall, I'm liking the communication they gave us with this update and the actual changes.
Good point. True. Yeah, I'm with you. This patch was exactly as I expected. The only surprise was how communicative they suddenly got on Twitter, which is really cool. I'm really glad about that. So if anything, I think you could sort of count that in the conversation of the update. So yeah, overall though, in terms of things that were changed on my hard drive, yeah, exactly as expected. And that's a good thing because Tanner and I expect good changes to come out of Raven Development Studio. Yeah. We expected good, solid weapon balance where nothing was gutted, but things were balanced better and closer to where we want. And that's exactly what happened. So yeah, I'm very pleased with this update. It is precisely what I expected. No surprises, no fucking nuclear launch bunkers, which is fine. You know, we don't need a surprise, and you shouldn't have expected anything like that.
We didn't get a teaser for a teaser of a teaser for a trailer of bunkers that are going to open sometime in the next year. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, and I'm thrilled about that because that shit was cringe. It will happen again. Don't worry.
Oh,
but
yeah, it's coming back.
We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So yeah, exactly as expected. Really good. Really solid. I've been having more fun lately in Warzone almost than ever, maybe than I've ever had, because this map is just way better than Verdansk. And that is a topic we will expand upon on January 22nd at 12 p.m. Pacific time at the dropshot.com/live. Be there live. Reminder, figure it the fuck out. It's going to be both fun and exciting. Come support your friends or make new friends. Many of you are lonely, and I understand that. And you should be ashamed of yourself. You listen to a fucking Call of Duty podcast. So come commiserate with your fellow losers. And be here live at the dropshot.com/live.
Yeah.
Oh, just real, disgusting, shameful people, really. January 22nd. And then also January 29th, 2-year celebration. Lots of announcements, lots of goodies planned for those of you who are here live in the audience. The show won't start unless at least 300 of you are here live. So help the show. The show must go on. And if it doesn't, it's your fault for not being there live.
Yeah.
So get there fucking live. Multi-box if you need to. If you need to make 10 Twitch accounts to boost our viewer numbers, do it.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck if it's one guy with 300 accounts. Fine. Don't care. Just need to see that number. So be there live as well, January 29th at a time, Pacific time. Patreon.com/thedropshot's the best way to support the show. 5 bonus episodes a month plus more. Check out the website. You can see all the perks and all the details there. We've got different tiers, different offerings, different fun and exciting experiences. This is the best way for you to support the show. We get the most bang for your buck. And it's also the best way for you because this is where, again, we offer all of our bonus content. So if you wanted to support the show, if you liked what we're doing here, once again, you're a loser and you should be ashamed of yourself if you feel that way. But also, the first way to support the show, patreon.com/thedropshot. The second way is, of course, to give us money. Cold, hard cash. I have a Bitcoin wallet, too. You could give us a deed to your home. Many things are, of course, acceptable. But Patreon should be the first stop, because that's where you can get some shit, too. And that's how we make the bulk of our living here. So other than that, boys and girls, that is it. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for listening. Have an excellent evening, of course. And as always, remember, stay humble.
Stay humble.